Now it is my great pleasure to introduce our youth delegation, the next generation carrying forward the ideals we have been honoring today. These are young people who each have, in their own way, discovered the story of the PMOI and found something in it that speaks to their hearts and convictions. We will hear from Yalda Bulurci, Alayla Johnson, and Behrad. Each will share in their own words what they have found most inspiring about this movement and why it matters to them.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me today as we celebrate 60 years of sacrifice, resistance, and steadfastness on this journey. 60 years since the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran, the MEK, first lit a torch of resistance against the dictatorship. My grandmother, my aunt, my uncles, and my cousins have all given up their lives to ensure that the path to free Iran remains bright and clear. I am so honored to be here today, 60 years later, and see the torch burn even brighter than ever before in the hearts of the Iranian people, especially in the hearts of my generation and the resistance units all across Iran. For me, this anniversary is about why I stand here today. As a 16-year-old who was born in America and hasn't endured any of the hardships that the people inside Iran face, but I've chose to fall in the MEK. I stand for the youth of Iran so that their voices can be heard. For me, the MEK is a living history of Iran that's written in the stories of martyrs, in the courage of the prisoners in Evin and all across Iran, and in the resilience of families like mine. The MEK has shown me that to fight for freedom is to fight for something greater than yourself. It is to believe. As Mayim Rajavi has said, that we can and we must achieve whatever we dream of. It is to live with hope, not fear, with faith in the power of the people, and with certainty that the future belongs to those who dare to create it. But the journey has never been easy. For 60 years, the MEK has faced two dictatorships, the Shah and the mullahs. I know because my family has paid the price of fighting these two autocrats. Iran's freedom fighters have endured massacres, imprisonment, bombings, misinformation, and betrayals for far too long, and yet, after all this time, instead of being destroyed and brought down, they have grown even stronger. That is why, for me and for my generation, the MEK is the only real hope for the future, so we don't repeat the mistakes of history. When I think about the future, I see an Iran where women are equal, where minorities are respected. There's no reason that I should be any different from a Baluchi or a Kurd. They are just as Iranian as I am. In Iran, no one should be executed for their beliefs or for any meager reason. For power is not in a crown, in a turban, but it's in the people. When I saw the youth of my age and even younger in the nationwide uprisings, and even yesterday in Belgium, I was filled with courage and determination that I too should support the people confronting these repressive forces. I know that the courage was inherited from the previous generations who fought for freedom as much as they did. It's from the past, it's in the future, and it's in the present, it's for the future. Our generation has refused to inherit despair, for we are much more than that. We are filled with celebration and with hope. We must inherit this and transform it into action today. In the same way, the sacrifices are not only for us, but for generations to come. This is not just a dream. It is a promise carried by Mayim Rajavi's 10-point plan. It is a promise that my generation and myself are determined to fulfill. Iran's future is taking shape. Inside Iran, resistance units are the beating heart of the movement. They are the link between the sacrifices of the past and the freedom of tomorrow. They're the new generation spreading courage in the darkest streets and showing the world that the people of Iran are ready to claim their long-earned freedom. So, on this 60th anniversary, I stand proud to follow the MEK, not because it is easy, not because my family supports it, because I support it for the values and for its right to exist. I believe in the MEK as it's inspired me to be passionate and to have drive for freedom so that my people can have the same freedom I have here in America today. I truly want to see an Iran that is free and democratic. For far too long, Iran has endured so much tyranny, and Iran is so much more than that. It's not defined by these dictators, it's defined by the people who are the beating heart of this movement and who have championed so much so that people like me can be here in America today and be their spokesperson. One day, the children of Iran in the generations to come will look back and say, because the MEK stood firm, we are free at last. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Behrad. I'm a first-year college student, and my family comes from a small town near the Iran-Iraq border. It is an honor to join you today on this occasion of celebrating the MEK with its proud 60 years of history. Today, I wanted to share my family's story, as for them, the Iran-Iraq war wasn't just news on the radio. It was our daily life because of the town they lived in. The sound of sirens, the fear of bombings, and the grief of neighbors who never saw their loved ones return. These are the memories my family carries to this day. Now, why do I feel I must speak today about this topic? It is because when I hear one of the regime's biggest lies, the claim that the MEK collaborated with Saddam Hussein during the war. For those of us who lived through it, this propaganda is not just false, it is insulting. My family, who lived through the war, knows better. They know that when the Iraqis withdrew from the Iranian territory, peace was reachable. And the MEK and Mr. Masoud Rajavi called for peace. But the mullahs refused and continued the war for another 5 years. They know it was the Iranian regime that sent thousands of boys to sweep the minefields as human wave tactics and die for nothing. I am here to say that my generation refuses to let the lies of the past define our future. The MEK did not fight for or with Saddam Hussein. They fought for decades and still fight for one day. No family like mine would have to endure 8 years of war for the sake of a dictator's survival. They fought so that children would not be used as human cannons the way this regime has done. And today, their legacy lives on in the resistance units inside Iran, ordinary young people just like me who risk everything to say enough. I am proud to stand here today and celebrate the 60 years of a historic battle for freedom by the MEK. I love to go to Dezful, my parents' hometown, the oldest city in the Khuzestan province of Iran, which dates back to the Sassanid era about 1,800 years ago and even older. I want to see that city that was devastated under the mullahs to prosper and have a part in rebuilding it. I want to be a part of the solution and help with the prosperity of the Iranian people. Long live Masoud Rajavi and the MEK's movement for free Iran. Thank you.
Dear friends and distinguished guests, my name is Alayla Johnson, and it's an honor to be with you today on this joyous occasion. I stand before you not only as the daughter of a former Iranian political prisoner from Shiraz, but as a witness to a truth that many have tried to bury my generation under lies. My mother was just a teenager when she was arrested. Her crime? Believing in freedom and daring to support the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran. She was imprisoned and faced unspeakable torture, not because she had committed any crime against the people, but because she had stood with them, because she had dared to dream of a free Iran and supported the organization she loved. When I grew up hearing her stories, I realized something very important. Dictatorships are not afraid of the truth itself, they are afraid of the truth being spoken. That is why, alongside torture and executions, the regime launched something more insidious, a campaign of demonization against the MEK. For decades, the regime had tried to paint the MEK as terrorists or cultists or foreign mercenaries. Why? Because the MEK represents the one force that neither the monarch nor the mullahs could ever control. And because when bullets and prisons failed to break this movement, the regime turned to words, poisoning minds, spreading lies, and trying to isolate the resistance from its people and from the world. But lies have short lives. The same regime that called the MEK irrelevant now executes and imprisons anyone who dares even to whisper their name. The most recent examples were the executions of the resistant units members Behruz Ehsani and Mehdi Hassani, who were proud members of the MEK. The demonization campaign is to make us believe that the resistance is against tyranny is impossible. But my mother's story, my grandmother's story, my great-uncle's story, and the story of thousands of others prove otherwise. My mother was a teenager in prison, but she never gave up her beliefs. She never accepted the lies. And because of her, I learned that truth is stronger than propaganda, and hope is stronger than fear. And that is why I am more hopeful than ever that I will soon visit the hometown of my mother, the beautiful Shiraz, the land of poets, the land of flowers and love. Today, as resistance units rise across Iran, every act of defiance, every poster, every chant of death to the dictator shows that the people of Iran see through the demonization. They know the MEK is what the regime fears. And what the regime fears most is exactly what we are celebrating here. 6 decades of sacrifice, unity, and defiance that no smear campaign could erase. And to the supreme leader, Khamenei, I say, you have always dismissed girls my age, either in Iran or abroad. But I want you to know that when you executed the 13-year-old Fatemeh Mesbah because she did not denounce MEK to stay alive, she became a symbol for generations to come. You should know that the future is ours. Yes, the path to change in Iran will be led by women. Thank you.